Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the bank sending packages across the country, Dana. Focus on the people in your life, ages 3 to 18. That's my 30 seconds for you.
While still over a week away, families are already preparing for their Thanksgiving spread.
Kind of trying to just get it done and get things over with. Sure. And prices aren't getting any cheaper anyways, so.
Using the Consumer Price Index, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, food at home prices have gone up by 2.7% from September 24 to 25.
If you're wondering about how Fox News is handling the economic turmoil their favorite president has caused, well, they've gone from praising the fact that Hamburger Helper stock has risen to trying to tell us that giving gifts is overrated.
This as a new poll finds about 70% of Americans say groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago. And about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
Now remember, if you do want to do another protein like beef, the price is still up. It's about, I believe, 5 times the price that it was last year. So just keep that in mind. Maybe you're hitting the grocery store this weekend. Turkey is probably your best bet. Just stick to the one. I'll send it back to you guys.
You know what I'm going to say? Tofurkey. There we go, Kelly.
The Republicans claim that Democrats were having a war on Christmas sure has a different context now, as Republicans on Fox seem more than willing to literally cancel Christmas rather than actually call out Trump for his disastrous economic policies. But the fact is, consumer sentiment is way down. They will probably be buying less gifts, even if they want to give gifts to, yes, even the adults in their life. The fact is, according to consumer surveys, just in the month of November alone, consumer confidence is down by 6%. And this was led by a 17% drop in personal finances, an 11% decline in their year ahead expectations for the business and how the business was going to go. Interestingly, the one group who actually had an increase in their consumer confidence in the economy were those that had the largest holding in the stock market. They increased by 11% because, of course, their income, their wages, their ability to give Christmas gifts was not tied to their actual jobs, but by the wealth that they had put in the stock market. The fact is that people are facing inflation, raising prices at the same time that people are losing jobs.
But the issue of affordability, the issue of how people feel about the economy popping up in our latest polls, personal financial situation now, excellent, good, 40%, only fair or poor, 60%. You can see that changing from July. Condition of the U.S. economy, also a perception totally upside down, 76 to 25, and that changing a bit. And then economic conditions for the nation and you personally, again, 25% positive, 76 negative for the nation, and then 60-40 personally.
And the increase in the prices, let's talk about how they are directly affected by Trump's tariffs. Just this year alone, clothes prices increased by 8.99%. Coffee and tea, 7.5%. Furniture, 6.5%. Cameras, 7.5%. Household textiles, 6.2%. All of this, a direct result in Trump's tariffs.
In the wake of Trump tariffs, John Deere announces mass layoffs. PepsiCo will increase carbonated soft drink concentrate prices by 10%. Sony is raising PS5 prices in the U.S. by $50 across all models, and electric bills are up 10% so far this year. The election, you can say it was about whatever you want, it was about cost of living. That's what it came down to. People said inflation hadn't come down enough. Joe Biden doesn't feel my pain. I don't want to hear about Bidenomics.
What's the inflation?
Donald Trump has
Kamala was the nominee, by the way.
But it
Kamala
was. No, I'm well aware of how the election went, but it was about the Biden administration.
I was worried you're going to say that Diet Coke was going up in price, and then
no, just
that happens, you better call me.
Well, Coke actually did say that they were going to be raising prices.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to drink water.
The argument that the administration has been making since they got into office was this is going to be a boon for you, and the American public is saying, actually, no, I go to the grocery store and everything is more expensive. I think that the president and the administration at large has had a really bad couple of weeks. There were the electoral losses. On top of it, the waffling on whether he thinks affordability matters or not. And I thought his interview with Laura Ingraham, there were a couple stumbles that have really hurt him, not only on the economic front, dismissing people's concerns, but on H-1B visas, for instance, his Epstein files issue coming up as well. And you see the base of the party, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world, up to the more moderate folks that signed on because they thought that he was going to give them relief at the grocery store, all saying no to this. He's minus 15 on handling the economy at this point. And the Democrats proved that last Tuesday night or 2 Tuesdays ago, that they're more trusted on who can keep your money in your pocket and maybe even get you some more.
Now, you can also say that there's always an increase in inflation. And in fact, there has been a significant increase, and the increase specifically in the cost of the food, the everyday things. We talk about the kitchen table, everyday things, the food people are going to buy day to day, but especially around the holidays when they gather and make more meals and buy more food for special occasions, how much they are going to be crunched and hurt when they're trying to buy food. Well, the cost of food has gone up 18.2% since January of 2022. 18.2%. And Trump can lie as much as he wants about grocery prices being down, but it is the one lie that every American can fact check. We don't have to listen to a cable news decide whether or not they want to fact check it or not. We all fact check it when we go to the grocery store, and we all know the grocery prices aren't down. And the data backs it up. In fact, up by 18.2% since January 22. And the reason why Americans are being so crunched and consumer sentiment is down is because their wages are not keeping up. Since January 2022, nominal wages have risen by only 7.7%. Because you can argue that prices go up. In general, they go up. But of course, basic economics says if your wage does not go up at the same rate as the cost of whether or not it's your food or your living or your gasoline, then you have less money. And wages have gone up only by 7.7% in the same time period that basic food prices have gone up by over 18%. This is why we have Bernie Sanders becoming more popular than ever, Elizabeth Warren becoming more popular than ever, when they focus on the fact that oligarchs, CEOs, corporations get the tax benefits. They get to sit with Trump and trade millions for extra perks for their companies. They try to stop workers from becoming part of unions. They do things to make it harder for Americans to just get a living wage and not have to work multiple jobs, to get a wage that keeps up with their cost of inflation or just the cost of doing business or the cost of the tariffs. So instead of calling out rightly that Trump lied to people when he said he was going to take care of the waitress and the tips and the American who is working a minimum wage job, and instead has just grifted in his own pockets, and his oligarch friends and all the Fox News contributor has to say is maybe Americans should buy less gifts.
Hey Midas Mighty, it's Ben, Brett, and Jordy, and we just want to thank you for being the backbone of this movement.
This year tested us more than ever, but together we proved that pro-democracy voices don't just compete, we win.
We took on the entire MAGA machine, won a Webby for Podcast of the Year,
the MeidasTouch podcast,
and you were with us every step of the way. And trust us, what we're working on next is bigger, bolder, and built for 2026.
Let's keep this momentum going, spread the word, we are just getting started.
Shout out to the Midas Mighty!